Hey guys, what's up? This is the Metaphysical Babes. My name is Kathy, and in today's video, I want to talk to you about how I manifested $12,500. Watch till the end so that I give you the tip that I did right before the $12,500 was actually given to me, literally given to me, without having to lift a finger. Each encounter, each event carries significant purpose beyond immediate understanding, drawing forth what your soul exactly requires. This is why any event that happens on the bridge of incidents, you shouldn't be so quick to judge it, because you never know what it may reveal to you further down the road. As long as you stay on the energy that everything happens for your highest good, and that reality is rigged in your favor. So whatever you desire, you give it to yourself in spirit. By divine grace, you're going to receive it. And you have to understand that these moments, they happen not by chance, but rather by the magnetic pull of your energetic state. It happened in a very unconventional way. I got into a little accident. I was standing at a red light. This guy just hit me. To make a long story short, I ended up going to the doctors the next day. It was a bit of a shock, and I was not in the mood to deal with an accident and having to pay more for my insurance, all of that. I was devastated. Filed the claim, the report, the accident report, and everything like that. And then, of course, my cousin was a lawyer. Said you were at the red light, you hit you, and now you guys have to go to the doctors. There's a way that they have to pay you for this damage, right? So I did not expect this at all, and it turned out that I received that money. This goes to tell you that you never know how you can manifest, right? Sometimes, I'm not saying go out there and look for these type of incidents, because they're always unexpected. Obviously accidents are unexpected, but I honestly did not think about money coming out of the situation. We have a tendency to think more about the problems that we're facing rather than the solutions. And this is where our life force energy is spent, in thinking of problems. So we don't realize the amount of emotions and energy we put into thinking of the problems rather than thinking of the solutions. And if you follow Neville Goddard, he talks about feeling being the secret. So if your feelings and emotions are directed or put into the problem, so guess what's going to happen? You're going to manifest the problem. But if you put your feelings and your emotions towards the solution, so the solution is going to appear. Now, the how should not be of your concern to you, because in the event of something that's quote unquote negative, something positive can come out of it. But what happens a lot of time, because it looks negative to the mind, to the human mind, you reject it. You block whatever can come out of it. So you never know in which way it's going to come to you. You might be able to manifest, but you lose them because your nervous system not being regulated is sort of like rejecting what comes to you, because your nervous system is not familiar with receiving. It's not familiar with love. It's not familiar with gifts. So you self-sabotage, so you reject unconsciously, without even realizing that's what you're doing. You think that you're protecting yourself because that's what the nervous system believes. Your nervous system doesn't feel safe, so you don't know how to remain open, and or not even able to receive. You don't know how to receive. And the highest frequency that you have to be on in order to receive is the frequency of love. Take it or leave it, guys, with what I'm saying here, because I know now for a fact that when you're on the frequency of love, there's nothing that you want, anything that you desire has the potential to come to you. It exists in the quantum field. It exists in the universe. It exists. I'm always, on having a cleansed aura. I'm always on praying. I'm always about these things, and I share them on my channel, and I'm always open to the idea of receiving. I was putting a lot of energy and feelings into feeling with my emotions, with my spirit, my spirit vibrating in the knowing that my bill is already paid, my bill's already paid, right? So a lot of my energy, even when I was walking doing random stuff, my thoughts, were like going into that direction. But one thing, the key part of this is this, right? It's love, the love frequency that I just mentioned. And I'm going to explain to you what I mean by that. I would have sessions in front of my mirror and I talk about mirror work, the magical, use of your mirror, guys. Your mirror opens up a portal because this body here is the physical portal. Your mirror gives you, the ability to see yourself at different dimensions. What do I mean by that? Your physical self looking at yourself in the mirror. Obviously, you cannot touch, the image you're looking at in the mirror. You can say that it's the fourth dimension. And then you can go into different dimensions, the fifth dimension, the seventh dimension, 8th, 9, 11 dimension, and so on. Your mirror is the portal that offers all these things. Now, you have to, within your reality, your physical reality, see yourself, in those dimensions. But that's just for mirror, Of course, me, I consider, dreams one dimension. When you astral project, it's another dimension. And when you are in a meditative state, it's another dimension. So many dimensions within ourselves, right? But for me, looking at myself in a mirror, the mirror reveals to me those dimensions. And at that moment, they are accessible. So I would do mirror work where I am, my spirit self, which is the reflection in the mirror, is giving me what I want. Now, I know by being on the frequency of love, me being in love with myself, with Kati, not in a narcissistic way, but because I love myself so much, I want to give myself the things that I desire. And this is how I started the work. I would picture my reflection giving me the things that I desire. I would picture my reflection giving me the money to pay my debt. I would picture myself, my reflection in the mirror, which is that, higher dimension self, giving me the things that I'm asking for. Nobody else, but my reflection, which is like the God in me, giving me these things. And then I would feel within myself this love, because who can love you more than your own self? They talk about self-love, but nobody explains it to that dimension. And that is the dimension that you have to understand that God is really. You cannot touch it, but you know it exists. That reflection, you cannot touch it, but you know it is you. It's like God exists. You cannot touch it, you cannot see it. Well, you can see the reflection, but not God. But you know that it is there and it's giving you the things that you desire. I've used so many different analogies on my channel to explain, manifestation, how things are available to you, how you can acquire things, and so on and so on. And this one here is one key method for me, I'm going to say, that I realized that worked tremendously for me. So Kati, the reflection of Kati, is giving this Kati here in this 3D dimension whatever she desires. Nobody else is going to do it for you. Like I've said to myself, nobody can do it for you but you, Kati. So I started giving myself the money. I started giving myself, let's say I lost something and I started seeing myself giving, finding this thing for me. And giving it to me, and I wanted a phone call, and I would see, my reflection, calling or receiving the phone call and so on. So you could do it, in front of your mirror. You can also do it in your imagination. Imagination, guys, like Neville says, is nothing but spirit. I talk about the spirit, making your spirit resilient. And I know of some videos I talk about how you need to be spiritually resilient or spiritually strong so that you can have a strong mind and then experience the reality that which you want. This is how you own reality, guys. Nobody has really one key to how manifestation works. There are techniques that actually work better for some people. Okay, and I've tested so many of them. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've manifested with almost all of them. The best technique for me has always been the mirror. So everyone, as you pushed out, is mirror. You look at yourself in the mirror. If you see yourself as love, then the world reflects love to you. Okay, and this is what Neville talks about. By the way, guys, let me just say this. I've been working on the spiritual workbook, the spiritual seeker workbook. I've updated it. If you've downloaded before, go back and download this new one, or I will send it to you because you probably are on my email list. Use that workbook. I don't care if you're Asian, I don't care if you're black, I don't care if you're white, I don't care who you are. This workbook is going to help you find your truth and stay on that path of your true spiritual, your true spirituality. So I've tested so many things, and I know this mirror work is what works for me. And I've done it, in front of a physical mirror, and I've done it in my imagination, in my spirit, and I've built a strong spirit. When I tell you this, I can go into my spirit and have everything that I need in an instant. If it instantly I get it, or a couple of days, I'm not worried about that because I know it's coming, right? So you could do the same thing, guys. You can do the same thing. You regulate your nervous system because you want to be able to receive, because a lot of people struggle with receiving. They're not used to it. That's why they're always giving themselves. That's why they go into narcissistic relationships, because they believe that they have to give in order to receive. But no, you don't have to. So they're always giving more than they're receiving, or never receive anything at all. So they go into those narcissistic relationships as an empath. And I used to be such an empath. I thought I had to do backflips, front flips in order to, to get the approval of people that I love, like family members and so on. And I was like, wait a minute, no, not at all. Nothing requires anything of you. Like Spinoza says, God doesn't expect anything from you. So if God doesn't expect anything from us, why would we want to do all kinds of things, so that we can gain the favor of others? No. So you are the one that you're looking for. You are the God that you're looking for. You really are. So you have to understand that and literally accept it. And make that your anchor. Don't care. Don't give a shit about what anybody says. Only God can have anything to say against you. I don't care how anybody interprets the Bible. If that doesn't resonate with you, then it doesn't resonate with you. And say, God, help me find a way to connect with you. And the way will come. So this is just the beginning, guys, and I just wanted to share this with you. I've shared on my channel, maybe some stories of how I've manifested, but honestly, if I were to come on YouTube and share with you the many stories of how I've manifested things, I think that, I don't know. I think, YouTube would get sick of me or something, because I would be posting too much. Maybe I need to do that. Maybe I need to make YouTube, sick of me and stuff like that, and share more stories so that people can connect and understand that it is possible. And you can have whatever you want, just have it in spirit first. Taste it in spirit first. Smell it in spirit first. Literally, travel in spirit first. This is what Neville talks about, going to Barbados. How do you think he got into Barbados? It happened in spirit first. And then he walked around, living in spirit, knowing that, he was already in Barbados. So, that's it, guys. And I hope this video resonated with you. Again, I don't need to be coaching to make money, because I can manifest money, easily, and large sums of money too. But it's another way, to share a gift and be compensated for it. So if you really feel like you want to talk with me and you want to have a session with me, and please do, but it's not an obligation. I put it out there just in case anybody wants to work with me. It's not an obligation. This is not my way of making money. I have my business that I've been, I've always been an entrepreneur. I lived in Haiti. I built my business there, came here, and I'm doing the same thing right now. And this is just another way, anyways, I don't want to keep going. And I think that I've given you the most important part of this video, of this message, and it is working with yourself. You don't need anybody. That's the part about it too. You are your own God. You don't need anybody else. As far as the techniques, you need maybe some help in how to get into this feeling, and how to align yourself and how to regulate your nervous system. Maybe that's where you need help. But at the end of the day, you give yourself that which you desire. You do. You give it to yourself in spirit, and it will manifest in the flesh. Okay, guys, God bless you. Let's continue to prosper together. It is the divine love within yourself that gives you everything. The divine love within yourself is you. if we are made in the image of God, the spirit version of us is God. And we give ourselves everything.